Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy, and may the 4th be with you. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I'm not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for the show. And as with every film therapy session, I have a guest patient, and that guest patient today is author and brain gangster, Stacey Turis. Come on in. Welcome to the show, Stacey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
I'm excited that I'm here on Star Wars Day. I feel like that's like even cooler.
My daughter, when I dropped her off at school today, because she's in kindergarten, and she had a Star Wars shirt on, and she was telling everyone, she was like, "It's Star Wars Day. It's Star Wars
It's
Day.
straight up Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you." Kind of like, "May the Force be with you." She was educating everyone in her
Right, but with a
classroom.
lisp.
Does she have a list?
No, I'm saying that it's may the force be with
Okay,
you.
got it.
But
May the Force with a list.
force
Got
be with you.
it.
Sorry, I'm a little quick. I guess
Mm.
I'm fast today. I don't know.
I'm just not thinking about it. All right. So if you've never seen this show before, it is called Film Therapy. Thank you for joining us. What we do is we take 3 questions about film, and Stacey's going to answer them today. It's always a different patient each time. But the questions are: what is a film that inspires you? What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And what is a film that helps you through difficult times? I started this show because I suffer from depression, and I find that film helps me escape that depression and cope in some ways. And so that's why this all
I
began.
love that. Well, I need therapy because I also suffer from depression.
I feel like we all do in some way.
Well, I think right now, like the whole planet's straight up depressed.
Sure.
But
Definitely the
but
United
some of us
States.
have more of a propensity towards depression than others, especially with creative
Mhm.
brains. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
creative brains. I feel like I'm doing something naughty.
With a microphone,
Right,
just because it's so close to your
right.
face.
I'm not. I feel like I should like be doing something with it.
I see.
Okay.
So I do want to say I always have a disclaimer of if you are having an issue right now and you need help, please call 911, go to your doctor, call someone that you trust, and get that help that you need it right now. Because I'm not a real therapist.
No,
I can't help
we
you
just have street
technically.
cred.
Yeah, some kind of street cred.
Right.
Before we get started, though, I want people to know who you are, what you're all about, Stacey. So tell you can take longer than 15 seconds, which is normally how much time we have in a
to
class
introduce
that we
ourselves.
that we take together. Stacey and I
Thank
know each
you.
other from hosting class. So
Well, my name is Stacey Turis, and I am a best-selling author, but I like to say accidental best-selling author
oh,
because literally no intention of ever writing a book or it ever doing anything. But my book is about it's a memoir about ADHD, living with ADHD and giftedness,
mhm.
and sort of the misadventures that go along with that sort of brain and lifestyle. So then I started like a sort of Facebook support group. So I have like 250,000 people on there,
Whoa.
and we just laugh our asses about how, the dipshit stuff. Can I say
Yeah,
dipshit?
yeah.
Okay.
You can
The
say what you'd like.
dipshit stuff that we do with these crazy brains. So
Hmm.
anyway, yeah, so that's
What is
kind
your
of my
book? What is the
gig.
name of your book? The title of your book?
Here's to not catching our hair on fire, which did happen.
Okay, so here's to catching our hair on
I mean,
fire.
here's to not doing it again is what the title should have been. We did it once. That was good enough.
All right, you're gonna have to tell me about that in just a
I
moment.
will.
And then, what is the name of your Facebook group?
ADHD superhero.
Okay, just like your handle on Twitter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And Instagram is
Hmm.
just Stacy_tourist. So yeah.
And then Brain Gangster
Braingangster.com. You got to
is your
throw that.
website.
That's my
Okay.
website. That's where I have my Brain Gangster TV episodes and blogs and sort of, more misadventures and just really great mindful lifestyle techniques, so ways to improve our brain function naturally and just by changing kind of things we do with ourselves. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm just trying
Nice.
to change the world one brain at a time.
Excellent. I do want to get back to the hair catching on fire story. So, how did
Oh,
that
this is a good
happen?
one. Can I say the F word?
You can say whatever
Okay.
you would
Okay,
like.
cool. So it was New Year's Eve, and I was driving home and I was sober. And I got pulled over by a cop and ended up with like 3 tickets, one for no or like outdated insurance,
Mm-hmm.
um, bad brake light, and some other things. So anyway, we got home that night. My husband was like, I'm gonna run a bath for you. I'm gonna light some candles. I'm gonna make it romantic. And we
Oh, the candles.
right, the candles always make it romantic, apparently. So we both like squished into my tiny tub.
Mm-hmm.
He like ran the water and squished us in the tiny tub and had the candles like wrapped around us, and I kind of laid back and settled into the tub, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh my god, your fucking hair's on fire!" And there was just like smoke billowing out from behind. I had laid on a candle.
Oh
so
dear.
anyway,
Luckily, you're in the tub.
yeah, other than try getting your body underwater with a massive 6'4" man in the tub with you. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, you know how you used to have checks? Like we used to write checks, and there
Yes.
was
I still write checks.
you do?
Yes.
I'm not responsible enough to carry them. But you know how you used to put like a little saying, like you could pick a saying that you wanted to put on your check. So we
Yeah.
always had like a family slogan for every year. And that year was here's to not catching our hair on fire. So that's, and then that was a great title for the book, I
It
thought.
is.
Yeah.
That is a great title for the
Yeah.
book. Oh man.
That's me.
That's pretty good.
That's my story.
Elise McKenna in the chat, in the waiting room, I should say, has something to say. She says, "Sounds really interesting. Is your book available on Amazon or Barnes and Noble?"
Both. Yes,
Perfect.
both. And I'm about to actually, we're my producer Loopy and I are about to
Producer.
yeah, my producer, we're about to do the audiobook finally. Everybody's been
Whoa.
our brains, we don't like to read sometimes. Sometimes
That's
it takes us
true.
like 5 times to read one sentence. So a lot of people love to have audiobooks.
They
So
do.
look, Blake still has checks too.
That's exciting, Blake. I do too.
Oh, Blake.
All right, let's get into our first question for today,
Okay.
which is, what is a film that inspires you?
Okay. A film that inspires me. I have to say that when I watch movies, it would probably take me like 4 times to really, like, I would have to watch a movie 4 times to really catch everything, right?
Right.
So it's hard for something to really like hit me in the gut. But the one movie that did do that for me was Avatar.
Okay.
Like I was actually emotionally affected by that movie for like 3 weeks, because if I get emotional, I'm going to be really upset.
Why?
That's so cliche because I'm in therapy right now. I'm like,
Mhm.
Avatar. But it was like, it was just, I'm seriously going to be pissed if I cry about Avatar. It was just so like visually, let's start with visually. Visually, it made my mouth water. The colors, the sets, you know, I don't know what it was that made it so visually. Was it colors? Like I've only seen it once. Was it
Yeah.
the colors? What
Probably
was
the
it?
colors. You like colors in films because there was a time in class
You're
when you were
right.
asking me about Suicide Squad, and you were just talking about how beautiful all the colors were of
It's
Suicide
so
Squad. So
real
that
to
must be
me.
something that you
It
really connect
is.
with,
It is
coloring in film.
color, and especially colors that just like touch my soul. Like sometimes I'll see guitars that have a color, and my mouth will water from it because
Mm.
I don't know, color affects me. So yes, so with Avatar, visually obviously, but the message, I think, A, environmentally, and B, showing what, I'm a very spiritual person, and so I talk about energy and connections a lot, and to have a movie that visually described exactly what I feel, and was able to articulate it to a mainstream public so they could
Mm.
understand sort of that concept of everything being connected.
Wow, you
Goosebumps.
actually have
I have
goosebumps.
goosebumps
I
because
love
it
that.
was just so, I mean, I just felt like they captured that so well. So that's Avatar.
So for you, the fact that they're going to come out with like 4 more films.
I know, but is it going to take like 50 years in between everyone? Because I'm like, I'm
Well,
going to
I
have to
think they're
rewatch the first one.
I think they're trying to release them in close proximity to each other. So I don't think it's going to go next one and then we're going to take another hiatus like they did
Okay,
before.
because I'm like, I have to rewatch it now. But so what
Mhm.
about it? What about the
Are
will
you
I
looking forward to
oh
that? Are you going to be that you're like, I've got my advance
mm,
tickets already?
no. You know why? Because first of all, I have to wait until everybody else goes to see it because
Okay.
I can't stand being that person that like it's too stressful, right?
That
Unless I
person
had
that
like
what?
assigned seats, I
Okay.
can't be the
Yes.
person like at the movie theater for 3 hours because it's too much for me.
Yes.
Plus, the other thing is I'm going to have to psych myself up emotionally.
Okay, because you're like these
Truly.
colors are gonna touch
Truly,
me.
I just feel like that's the thing with me with movies and why honestly I stick with things like comedies and I used to love horror films. Now not so much, but my kid loves them and makes me watch them with her. But
Mm.
I love to stay with things that don't make me feel any emotions.
Yeah, you keep it
Because
safe, keep it surface.
as a sensitive person, I am constantly feeling emotions, which I know we all feel emotions. Yes, we can. I love to cry. I cry every single day. But at
Really?
some, yeah, truly,
Wow.
I am not sensitive. It sucks. Like I cried at an Aflac commercial the other day. And it's not just
Which one?
hormones.
Which
I
one?
don't remember. I'll have to let you know because I
Okay.
couldn't even tell you what it was. But then I had to answer the door like right afterwards. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I just saw a sad commercial, and it wasn't even sad.
About
But
insurance.
yeah, it was about insurance. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm feeling things for so many people all the time that I like to just keep my stuff like, it's just too much. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I get overwhelmed by emotions. So,
There's this interesting episode of Invisibilia, which is a podcast, and it's by people that worked. It's either by NPR or it's like connected in some way to NPR. But anyways, it was about this woman. They're all very different cases of people and how they're kind of like superheroes, like natural superheroes.
yeah.
There was this woman who like every emotion that you go through, she can go through it too with you. Like it's really hard for her to be around other
Yes.
people because if someone like stubs their toe, she can
Yes.
feel it in her own body.
Yes.
So anything that she sees, she
She
feels
feels
back
it.
on her. And I was like, that is
That's empathic.
so crazy.
Yeah,
And
that's being empathic.
she feels like I have to stay at home and I have to live in this
Yes.
bubble because if you are sad, I am sad.
Yes.
If
Well,
you're happy, I'm
that's what
happy.
sucks about like a lot of people in the tribe with ADHD or Asperger's or autism or all of us in that whole brain section. We have we are very sensitive and not
Mhm.
only are we sensitive to things being put in our body and touching our body and sensory issues galore like sounds and smells and sights and everything that we can become overwhelmed by but we also a good deal of us have what people used to consider really to be science fiction which is empathic abilities
Mhm.
which is the ability or disability sometimes to totally read the energy of other people, other to read the energy of what's going on in a room. You get confused because you don't know if what you're feeling is you or someone over there or if you know what they're that it's them, you don't know if their energy is directed towards you or if they're just having a shitty day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it is very hard when you are around sadness, you become immensely sad. You are totally jerked around by everything around you. So as an empath, you have to come up with a way to be able to sort of bubble yourself so you're not being thrown off by every single person's emotion around you.
Right.
It's
It's
crazy.
interesting.
It is
Hmm.
interesting. I mean, it's hard as
So
hell though.
you will wait for Avatar to either have been in the theater for a while, maybe,
I mean,
or just till it
I'll
comes
probably get
out.
excited and then it'll probably be like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Cuz that's enough time for you know what I mean?
Theaters to clear
Yeah,
out.
I just don't want
Less
to
energy all around you.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and then I can watch it peacefully without.
Hmm. without everyone around.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less crowd,
Yeah, less
better
crowd,
experience.
and just not like opening night,
Yeah,
I'm not an
I can't
opening
do
night
opening night
girl.
anymore.
No.
Although I can do like during the day.
Oh,
So
opening
that's
day
nice.
girl.
Yeah.
If I
Because
had,
there's like
I'd need like a
there's maybe
snack
10
bag.
people. There's maybe 10 people and it's usually some old guy snoring halfway through and like, because it's
Right.
during the day.
Right.
So
All right. I'd be cool with that. That'd be cool.
let's go to our second question, which is what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy,
Okay.
maybe it's
So
painfully happy, maybe it's
maybe it's
happily painful.
painfully painful.
Maybe
You want to go with painfully painful?
you can go with
All
what
right, let's do
you
that one.
want.
Let's do that one. Let's live a little. So, this is a movie that definitely triggers bad bad memories. And it's Radio Flyer.
Right. We've talked about this on a mini session.
We
but
did a
now we
mini
can get even
session.
more into
Now
it.
we got to get into the guts because
Okay.
you can like ask me any details you want. Because
Okay.
remember, we started talking about it in class one time, and we started sort of getting into and it is fascinating. Like if you look at it from Radio Flyers about child abuse, if you don't know what that is. I mean,
If you don't
if
know
you're
what
not
Radio
familiar,
Flyer is,
yeah, I'm sure you know what child abuse is.
Mhm.
Yes. So Radio Flyer is a movie about these two kids and their mom and dad get divorced. And I don't know if he's a stepdad or a boyfriend, but anyway, a new guy moves in, ends up abusing the kids, and it's like a horrible, horrible story. And they sort of use this radio flyer, this wagon, to escape their reality. And so for me, it was like being in an abusive situation, which was a boyfriend of my mom's that had, was in our life for like 5 years. Um,
Was he a stepfather?
no,
Okay.
he was
So
just a
just a boyfriend.
boyfriend. And it was so weird because my life, why I really relate with the movie is my life was 1 second of anxiety after the other. Like when I was away at school, because I mean, things like, okay, here's ADHD kid. If I didn't hang up my toothbrush or if I didn't turn off a light, if I left a light on, that was a reason to get a spanking. Okay.
Oh
So
dear.
so when I was at school, I'm a kid. I'm 10, 11, 12,
Okay.
13 years old. All day, I'm not thinking about school. I'm thinking about what the hell did I forget to do at home that I'm going to get in trouble for.
Right.
But then it sort of escalated to, this is the thing. I have to have compassion for this guy because obviously something was wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? As an adult now, as an adult with my own ADHD children, I have to have compassion for this guy that came into this house not knowing what to do and probably something was wrong with him. And so that's kind of where I come from.
That's pretty big of
now.
you.
Well, I mean, that's how you kind of have to think of it. You have to look at the
They're
big
broken
picture.
too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, totally. I'm not saying that as a kid I deserved any of that because I had ADHD or anything, but so now when I tell you these stories, so it gets worse, where he sort of, I don't know if he felt out of control, so he needed to control, but then he would start like, we had a duck. I had a pet duck named Walter, and he had it, there was a key to his cage, and I was responsible for the key. Well, every time I lost the key, I would get a spanking. And it got to the point where he was hiding the key so he could spank
Oh, he
me.
was gaslighting you.
Yeah, is that what that's called?
It's
Gaslighting
called
me?
gaslighting.
Yeah, I guess he was gaslighting me. So he would do things so that he was able to punish me. So it was
Whoa.
it was weird. It was not good.
So are you like when you first did you ever watch Radio Flyer more than once?
No,
Okay, because once was enough.
it was a lot.
Is Elijah Wood your character? Like you
Probably because he was the oldest. Was he the old? He
think
was the
so.
oldest, right? I would say he was probably my character. I mean, it was me and my little brother,
Mhm.
and so I just I remember, and my brother got the same stuff I did, but I just remember like laying in my room, and there used to be this light that would shine through on my closet door. And as a little kid, I would pray that I could just step through that light into like this land where I did not have all that stress and pressure on me
Hmm.
every single day and that fear that I lived in, you know.
Did you ever fight back?
When I as I got older, then I started um I didn't fight. I wouldn't say I fought back. I was really afraid of him
Hmm.
because he I mean, he did some crazy shit. Like I remember one time he had made a pie, and I think a piece of crust was missing, or maybe even more than that was missing from the pie. Anyway, he asked my brother and I, did we do it? We both said no. And so he put us in our separate rooms, and he came into my room and said, "Did you do it?" And I said no. And he said, "Okay, I'm going to ask your brother. And if he says no, you guys are going to get spankings until someone fesses up." I was like, I didn't do it. And my ass is not going to say I did something if I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, anyway, he went to my brother. My brother didn't do it. So he went back and forth between our rooms. He would give us like 10 minutes in between each beating. And he would use, he went through probably 3 wooden spoons, his hands. By the end of I don't even know how long it lasted. I couldn't even tell you how long that went on. But by the end of it, I had bruises from the top of my back to the bottom almost to my knee. So,
Oh
of
my
course,
God.
those showed up. And my mom did not know any of this shit. And I was so scared to tell her,
Because
which
your mom was
she
gone
had to travel.
sometimes?
Yeah, she traveled a lot for work. And so, and I was afraid to tell her because I mean, and this is what the thinking of me as an adult and thinking of these little kids who are going through abuse and why they don't say anything and why I know why, because you're afraid to, like, you don't know
Hmm.
what's going to happen, you
Right.
know? So anyway, I ended up with all those bruises. My mom did not know about it. I ended up having an allergic reaction to something and got a rash all over my body. So they had to take me to the hospital. This was like 3 days later.
Hmm.
And that happened frequently. It wasn't a big deal. I just had to get a shot of Benadryl in my butt. But
Okay.
so anyway, the nurse pulled my pants down and bent me over and
Saw
saw
the
all the
bruises.
bruises, and my mom saw all the bruises.
Uh huh.
And the nurse left, and he said to me, "Tell them you fell down roller skating." And she went ape shit. And I mean, she went ape shit in there. And anyway, I was just praying that the nurse was going to come back and say something. And the nurse didn't say one
Oh
word, like
no.
one
So
word.
sad.
Isn't that terrible? So it's just, you know what? That's the stuff we have to think about. Like, that's the stuff that actually goes on.
Hmm.
So anyway, it was not a good 5 years to say the least.
Yeah.
But the thing that I learned about it is what I'm definitely not doing with my kids. So I think you can either repeat the pattern or you can go, that is so jacked up. I'm never doing anything close to that.
How did he? How did that? How did you get away from him? How did he like leave your life?
Um Gosh, what was the final straw? I don't remember what the final straw was. But my mom, after that one incident, I mean, there were a couple things, and then she was finally like,
Hmm.
you know, she was like done. And I came home, and she was packing his shit up, and she was like, he's out of here, blah 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 blah. And I remember him coming down to my room that day, and he came in and he was like, "No matter where you go or where you are, somebody's always gonna hate you, and I hate you." And I was like,
Uh-oh.
holy shit, like I'm like 14 years old at this time, and I was like, "Oh well, I hate you too. Like, what do you say to that?" All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Wow.
But I definitely feel like, you know, that it's totally made me into the person I am today. I have so much compassion for so many people, and I know some of the shit that needs to be changed, and that's what I'm working on.
Hmm. as a teacher, I had to call child services one time, and it like terrified me
Oh,
to make the
yeah.
call, but
Yeah.
to it terrified me more to like think about that child and
Yes.
what would
Yes,
like
and but that's what you
the
have
whole
to do,
situation. You
because that's
do.
what stops people, because they're not
Mhm.
thinking through, like, how could my actions affect this kid? If I make this call, it could stop what's going on. It's a
Right.
big impact that a person can have if they see something. But so many times, we don't want to say anything because A, we don't know the whole story. B, we
Mhm.
don't want to turn their life upside down. C, is it something that goes on all the time? It's just hard to
Right.
step into other people's, and turn people's worlds upside down. But at some point, if it's something that at least I would, if my kids came home and told me that they thought one of their friends was going on, I would at least notify the
Mhm.
school so they could take care of it.
Right.
So you're not stepping in.
Right.
I don't
Well,
know.
when you call, it's definitely I mean, there's no way to trace it back to you.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
see, I didn't even know that.
I mean, they take your information, but that
Right.
information is
Stays.
confidential information.
See,
Yeah.
that's so cool that you did that, because that
Yeah.
took balls.
It was hard. It
Yeah,
was
that took a
hard,
lot of balls. So did
and
it end up good?
I don't know because I can't
Follow up?
follow up
Yeah.
legally. So, yeah. Um there was something I was thinking about while you were talking also was have you heard about the Daddy of 5 on YouTube situation with Paul DeFranco or Phil DeFranco?
No. What's that?
Oh, okay. Well, you probably don't YouTube. There's a this is all like come to light like within the last 2 weeks, but there is a family on YouTube that has like 750,000 subscribers and
Jeez.
a team and Phil DeFranco went through their videos and basically exposed that they are abusing their children and like you can see like the way they cut it to show like all the different times of which they've harmed their children or had their children harm each other like for the
Oh
videos
my
like it's just
gosh. Like
it's been an
what? Like
awful
what?
thing
Like what's an example of a
like a kid being shoved into a bookcase and then having
for
a
just
bloody
for video?
nose
Oh my
and
gosh.
they claim it to be pranks or fake or things like
Oh,
that it's really
see, oh my,
sad.
I mean, that's a whole other level of monetizing your child abuse.
Right. I mean,
Assuming
I
us,
don't think it
we
was
don't
always
know if
that, but
that's going. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know the story, but I'm just saying that's extra terrifying. It's extra terrifying what the possibility or the call of fame can do to some people, and the extent
True.
they'll go to gather attention for themselves. Sucks, actually.
Let's move on to maybe a lighter question. Maybe not. I don't know. But what is a film that helps you through difficult times that you would watch because you want to feel better
This
about
is a
something that's
movie
going
that
on?
I've watched, I don't know, a billion times probably. And that's why I'm assuming it's my movie that makes me feel better, because I
Okay.
can just keep watching it. Um, it's very highbrow. I just want you
Mm.
to know.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure it's going to be the opposite of this.
You know me well. It's Swingers.
Ah, okay.
I love I love that movie so much. I cannot love that movie more. And
Mhm.
it's so weird because the way that I saw that movie is I bought the VHS tape at a garage sale
Okay.
and I threw it in to the
Like, did you
VCR.
know anything about it? You were
No,
just like,
no, I
let's
was
check
like,
this out.
oh, that looks cool. So
Okay.
yeah, so then
10 cents. Why not?
yeah, exactly. And I think I thought that Vince Vaughn was hot too.
Yeah, he was good looking. I
Oh
mean,
god. And then after I watched the movie, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I was like in
you're like,
love with
where can I
him.
find Vince Vaughn?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Seriously. That's the only reason I married my husband, is because
He looks like Vince Vaughn.
later on, when I met him in Vegas, they
Mhm.
were all wearing outfits like the guys on Swingers. And that's how I was like, dude, you guys look like swingers. And then that was it.
That's hilarious.
So Swingers has multiple, it's a multiple faceted movie for me, and the
Mhm.
reasons why it gets me through things.
Hmm. Okay.
It's like
What
the
do you
only movie that I also know any quotes from.
Oh,
But don't
interesting.
ask me to say any because my brain will freeze on
I
the
mean,
spot.
it's obviously things like that's so money.
Right.
You're so money and you don't even know it. Like those
Right.
things.
Yes. Well, we
Mhm,
have those, but
mhm.
maybe even like more
How'd
what's the
you
word?
uh
I don't know. It doesn't
more
matter.
obscure?
Yeah, obscure. I like that. Yeah.
How'd you feel about John Favreau's character in general?
Well, I mean, he was so annoying, which is
Right?
what oh my
You're like, I watched this for Vaughn.
the voice I totally like but the yin and yang of them is what
Mhm,
made that, and he's such a freaking awesome writer. He's so amazing. So I love him in his own respect.
mhm.
But the the scene with the answering machine,
Yes.
I was
That's
like
so
so
sad.
uncomfortable.
What would that be now? It would be a text. It would be a text
He would
thread.
totally be like text blasting
It would
her,
just be
and
like
then she'd
a
have to
ton of
block him.
text
Yeah,
and
it
then
would be a ton of
nothing.
text. Isn't that weird? Like, if you think about
Mhm.
how would swingers be now? Like, that is weird to
Yeah,
think about.
updated.
Updated swingers would be crazy. We need a swingers too where they're like older,
Mhm.
right? Except not end up like what's it called? Oh, come
I
on.
don't know.
Where they go for the bachelor party and they miss the tooth, and
Old
Tyson
oh,
and the lion
Very Bad Things?
tiger.
Oh, wait, oh, The
No.
Hangover.
Yeah, the hangover.
Okay.
So it'd be different than the hangover. Um, Vince, John, call me and we'll work on this, okay?
We're gonna script this out.
Right. We'll get
We
it
will
together.
figure out.
Swingers too.
There probably is a swingers too, or it's like other people.
If
You know,
it's other
but we need
people,
updated. Like,
screw
what
that.
would swingers be
We
like
need
today?
to straight up original cast.
Okay,
The original
let's
cast.
cast this right now.
Yeah, let's get
You're in
this
the
going.
waiting room. Let's recast. Let's cast a updated swingers.
I'm gonna need
this
all
time.
these young gentlemen to meet me at.
Tom Hiddleston could be in this film.
I need you guys to come audition.
Andrew Garfield, maybe. I'm just thinking of.
Are you
random
thinking of? Are you
actors.
thinking of hot guys or just guys?
Well, Zac Efron, yes, definitely. Thank you, Randall Sands.
Oh my gosh, yes, Randall. Zach is like, okay. Do you
He'd be
know
perfect.
he would be good? I haven't seen Baywatch yet. Is it
It
out?
hasn't. It's not
All
out
right.
yet.
Well, that
Yeah.
explains it. But I think that looks really good. I'll
That
just
does.
watch that for the pecs. Going,
Just like that.
well, they look sexier when
Oh man, I need a gif of that. But Randall, you're right. He's a good mix of comedy and drama. That Zac Efron. He is. Who
He
knew? Who
is.
knew?
I know. I love his humor. I love his humor. He's one
Mhm.
of my favorite actors. He's so cool. I
mean,
love him.
Ever since High School Musical, who knew what he could do?
I've never seen that.
It's actually pretty good.
It is.
It is.
I'm just.
It's a trilogy. I recommend watching it.
You do the
Mhm.
trilogy?
Well, try the first one.
All right,
Try
I'll
the
try
first
it.
one.
I might get into it.
You
See,
might.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I get into shit like way later. Like,
That's
what?
okay.
I'll come next week. I'll be like, oh my god, have you guys ever seen High School Musical?
It's okay. I do that too because I miss movies, so I have to catch up on
Yes.
things that I missed.
Yes, that's awesome. I miss movies too.
Well, thank you so much, Stacey,
Oh,
for coming
thank
on
you
this
for
show.
having me. I had the best time. I want to like do more.
We should do more.
We should. I
Definitely.
mean, I'm no movie buff. I mean, I'm a movie buff, but I'm like a dumb one.
Sure. The dumb buff.
I'm the dumb movie buff. Check me out on dumbmoviebuff.com.
Or movie dits.
Yeah.
Ditsy flicks. Like, I need to come up with a name.
Something. That's our next project. So after Swingers 2, we'll come up with our.
Okay.
We got it.
Excellent. Where can everyone find you?
Oh,
It's in
you
the
can
chat.
find me on Facebook at ADHD Superhero, braingangster.com, or Instagram Stacey_Turis. And you can find my book on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. It is Here's to Not Catching Our Hair on Fire.
Excellent.
And with the audiobook coming out soon.
Yay! You guys can find me at Miss Movies on Twitter. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on Geek and Sundry's Twitch channel at 7 p.m.
Wow, that
PST.
sounds like dirty a little.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a show called Gather Your Party. So I'll probably be playing Just Dance with them. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time. Next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.